Nope.
I mean,
Oh
just
dear.
want to give you that.
Okay, also a heads up, it says battery low
Oh, shit.
on a recorder.
It's all right.
Just
You're
give it a
being
hand.
recorded. It's just a backup.
You could hear us on YouTube.
I don't think it's gonna let me. Okay.
No, you're right.
Okay, great.
I call to order the meeting of the Perkins Public Library Trust, July 7th, 2022, at 6:04 p.m.
All right. We got roll call. So we got Ms. Charlotte Parrott.
Here.
We got Autumn Vogt. Here. And then one day. Valerie Hill. Here. And then Brian said he wasn't going to be here this evening.
Okay. So the first item on our agenda is the consideration and action on the consent agenda. Approval of minutes of the special meeting from June 1st.
You don't have to read each one of them if you don't want to.
If anybody wants to discuss anything, they can just say they want to remove it.
Minutes, financial report, purchase orders.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I second.
What do you mean by all three of them?
There's 3 meetings.
All right.
Yes, they're all listed. All of the meetings minutes are listed in the consent agenda for this meeting. Did you want to remove something?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
She made a motion, and I second.
Awesome. Then vote on it. Autumn
Yes, ma'am.
and sorry, Valerie.
Yes.
I saw the nameplate up there. I probably should have taken those down. And Charlotte.
Yes.
It's okay, it gives us anonymity.
Except me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Except mine.
you should sit somewhere else. Okay, the next item on the agenda is consideration of items removed from the consent agenda.
Skip that one since we didn't remove anything.
We removed nothing, so. Next item on the agenda is public appearances, petitions, remonstrances, communications, and personal appearances. I would love a remonstrance if somebody,
Like showed up.
yeah, I don't even know what that would be, but,
Right, it's like, I don't know what to do.
Here.
no one's
No one's
here?
here.
Anyone? Anyone? Next item on the agenda is consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding the National Endowment for the Humanities Grant application. Is that the one we've looked at previously?
Yes, the one that I think, and I'm not sure if it words in anyone's mouth, I think we liked it, but we were just really concerned that we wouldn't be able to pursue it in that short time frame. But now, the new, when is it, the new deadline's September 27th. I mean, we want to get a draft in before that, but that's when it's due now.
September 27th is the next deadline.
Yes.
Is this something Grant Scribe is helping with, or is that just something you have found?
No, that's the one that they brought up, and and I'm talking to it. It's still with Grant Scribe, but I've got like a different person I'm talking to now, Noelle, and
Is she gonna do the draft for you, and then as a trust we're paying for the cost of the, or is the city paid for the cost of the draft that they create, or?
like
I think the spirit of this
yeah.
agenda would be to determine whether or not the library
If we want to
trust
pursue it.
wants to pursue it. And if so, if the library trust believes they want to pursue it and they can come up with a match or whatever, then we would contact Grant Scribe and say, what's the cost, or what cost are you proposing to write it? And are you proposing anything if it's awarded? Then we would bring that back to the trust to make a further decision.
Okay.
Is this one that was going to require us to spend money or to not spend?
Match 150,000 and not count anything we'd already raised.
Right. And this is the one where we request up to, that 150, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but if we don't make it, it's no harm, no foul kind of thing? Do they match it as we go? I feel like
No,
it's
well,
or-
there's 3 levels of awards with different match ratios. For requests up to 150,000, you're supposed to match 1-to-1. From 150 to 500, it's 3-to-1, and from 500,000 to $1 million, it's 4-to-1. So, and I believe Charlotte is correct when she says the match had to be within a specific time frame of the application.
Right.
But I do remember talking to Grant Scribe, and this match could potentially be leveraged funds, so it could be loan, possibly depending on the loan program. Sometimes they don't want federal monies to back up federal monies. So I think there's some things that are open that could be discussed. There's not just an incredible amount of information in this document. that's
So
it.
if we take action on this, can we give Jennifer the green light to get more information and to proceed with the process? Is that what we're needing out of this action?
Yeah, you could make you could
So just need to know
do
it
a
all.
motion to get more information and cost.
And possible sources for revenue, or for for who's going to pay for what part of it? Is that it?
Well, who's gonna pay I don't know what's in the bank or who's gonna pay. How are you gonna come up with the 150,000 match? Would need to be discussed at some point prior to.
I think all she really told me was that matching funds must be from a third-party, non-federal donations.
So that may leave ARPA money out.
I haven't messed with that before, and that's what's like, I don't know, but since those are things I need to ask him. What do I need to?
The company we borrowed money before down at No, we got a grant.
Starkey's?
Yeah.
Is that
Sarkey's
Sarkey.
Foundation.
Yeah, we've got,
I think there's been some smaller grants from them, 30, 40,000 maybe.
All right, in '04, we got one for all the furnishings in the library. And I think if they knew that we're gonna take those furnishings with us, that would be a big plus. Plus, they gave us some that we used to do the shoring up down there.
the trestle, the trusses, did we
Yeah.
use it for the trusses?
And
Yeah.
knowing that that's all done, do you think that we might get some more?
It's possible. You might write down Sarkey's.
Windows.
At the time,
S-A-R-K-E-Y.
At the time, Allison thought they probably would, but then the person that was there that had a relative up here left, so
Oh.
I, you know,
I knew
sometimes,
Allison had worked with them, but I didn't know anything about it.
sometimes it's not what you know, but who you know.
Well, I make a motion, Jennifer, for you to continue with the process of this endowment grant, get some more information based off of how much it's gonna cost, trust needs to pay for that, or if that comes, that's a city thing, or who's responsible for the cost of writing the grant? And then trying to help find, am I on the right place?
I can probably answer that. I believe it would be the library trust.
Okay,
Because
that's
it's a
what I was,
grant.
okay.
But that doesn't mean funds can't be transferred. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
and then we need to find ideas or figure out where we would get the matching money from.
so find out how much it costs to write the grant.
And locate
Possible
possibles.
match
Yeah,
options.
yeah.
And this is, the deadline is 11 weeks away.
Not very long.
Did we already, in our first look at this grant, did we already somewhat pursue it? Or did we do any of the paperwork? Or do we have a heads up?
It was so close,
Yeah, it
the
was like-
deadline at the time, that we just kind of quit.
Oh, so we've got like 3
Do-
months.
Is there a plan set or something of that nature that could be used in a grant like this?
I would think so. I think so. I haven't seen what the architect, I haven't seen that he's added anything.
Not since the last layout that Brian brought.
So you might ask that detail.
Yeah. Do they need construction drawings or presentation materials?
Yeah.
We have some really good presentation materials, also some quality.
That's great. So I didn't know what all to ask them.
Made a motion.
I did make a motion.
Oh, yes.
I second.
Great. And then, so Autumn,
Yes, ma'am.
Valerie,
Yes.
and Charlotte.
Yes.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding other grant opportunities.
So the only other one that Noelle mentioned was the Lois Lensky. I'm not sure. Covey
It's a foundation grant like Sarkis.
But I think I looked into it more, and I think this is if you have a mobile. What's the exact
Bookmobile.
word? Yeah, bookmobile. Thank you. That's the word. So it's books for the bookmobile, but I think the more I looked into it, you can't actually like start that. It's just for books for one. So it's like I don't think this is something.
I had such high hopes for Grant Scribe to find us the money.
I've talked to Casey several times and he said it's very difficult
For library ones.
for construction library stuff.
Yes.
You know,
We looked into like Main Street building,
Main Street USA, I mean, that,
like instead of library specific, like have we asked Grant Scribe, is there anything for like Main Street beautification or?
historic preservation of it.
It's not a historic building, but some. Do you know what I'm
We're
saying?
gonna need some preserving.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was a different route we could take other than just specifically saying for the library. If we could say, 100-year-old building or. I just didn't know if those were terms that we have used or given to Grant
it's all been
Scribe.
described to him.
Oh, okay.
And she can definitely go over that again with them. Some of the things, sometimes you can run into issues if something becomes a historic building, and then there's all these different
Yeah.
people that want to get involved. And
We don't actually want the
We
word
don't want-
historic.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dealt with
Too
it.
many hoops to jump through.
I just didn't know. I know at one point we were looking at Main Street beautification stuff, downtown beautification. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's anything along that lines that we would qualify for, but it's at least worth having them put in their database of keywords or whatever.
I'll ask her tomorrow. And be like,
Yeah, is there some ancestry grant? They need a building to have ancestry searches in, and we have a room specifically for that, if they'll just help us build it. I don't know.
Build it and they will come.
Build it, we'll let you use it. Is there any other? I guess that list is kind of ongoing.
yeah, it's just discussion. We don't have to take an action on that.
Our next item is consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve the pay app number 1 for Stillwater Commercial Glass in the amount of $15,862.
Right. And that was just this invoice. Basically, they got the, where did I put my note? I wrote it down on there. No, sorry, give me 1 second here. I wrote it. All right. Oh, no, you're good. Basically, Brian said that the framing is all down there, and he's seen a video, like, he's approved that it matches, it's all the right stuff, and the glass is going to be in next week, and they're gonna start installing it. This is more just to pay for materials, but because it's not done yet, it's been broken up, so that's why we have to.
Yeah, typically for a pay app, you just want to verify that they're billing for something that's either being
Yeah.
stored or that's been verified, and Brian's already verified that. we've already approved the shop drawings. I think that was at the last meeting.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So have they been paid then since they have an invoice, or is that coming across the commission's desk next week to?
This will come, this is your desk right here. This body makes a decision on whether or not to pay this pay application. They sent us an invoice for partial payment, and the way we do things, it really needs, usually we'll have a different form of pay application 1, pay application 2, but we've made this invoice work for simplicity because they're not necessarily used to doing things the way we have to do them. So they're just asking to be paid for what's been delivered, and then there'll be a remaining balance, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, that'll be paid when the job is complete.
I move that we approve pay application number 1 to the Stillwater Commercial Glass.
A second?
And Valerie seconded? Okay,
Yeah.
just make sure. Awesome. All right, and then Charlotte?
Yes.
And Valerie? And Autumn.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. It's in here somewhere. Yeah, I was like, there's the, it was originally like the
41,598 is the original contract.
44.
I was just giving some.
It's 41 or 44. I have to look. I've got the printout, like the actual printed in there somewhere, but yeah, just math. Alrighty.
Do I understand that the Friends of the Library have already submitted their part of this and the city their part of it to make the 41,000?
The city has, I believe.
I think so. I think it's been encumbered. It's not gonna be on this one. Thought it might be. I believe so. I think it's been, yeah, either set aside or.
So they're only billing for 38%.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's not a scary percentage or anything. That's good. Next item under new business. Meeting Act. Agenda item is authorized only for matters not known.
Yep.
Ms. Reese?
And then I think we need a vote, or no, we don't need a vote on it if there's no new business? Okay, I don't think so.
Just
There's
move
no
on to the
action.
next agenda item.
All right. We'll just adjourn.
That's all we have. I make a motion, we adjourn? We make a motion, right?
I'll second.
And so Valerie?
Yes.
And Autumn?
Yes, ma'am.
And Charlotte?
Yeah.